Good morning. This is August 11, and we continue with refugee answers and also general life in the United States. So, first question. I'm in America as a visitor and I applied for refugee. Now what? So, here's the problem. You cannot apply for refugee status if you're in America. You have to be in South Africa to apply. So, if you did apply, they're going to call you in South Africa. And if you're not there, obviously you will not be able to answer and get any information with them. So you have to be in South Africa to apply, and that's where they're going to call you and get you for interviews, not from any place else. Is there places in America to buy biltong spices? Yes, there is. You will find. So there's a couple of people or companies who import stuff from South Africa, but they're very expensive because they put import, and I know people want to get it, say they put extra prices. I do not buy from them. They're way too expensive. So the best is if you get a recipe in South Africa, what spices they use for a recipe, buy those spices here in America, mix your own. That's what I do. So for boerewors and biltong and stuff, I mix my own spices. What reasons should I not use to be part of the refugee program? So I cannot tell you what to say or what not to say in an interview. That's going to be up to you, because every agent also has his own interpretation of stuff. Just remember, you have to articulate future persecution on you. That's why you can't live there anymore. So figure out how to do that. You don't have to prove any past, but you have to articulate future persecution, past and future persecution. Someone asked, how does vehicle leasing works? So vehicle lease, similar as in South Africa. You're going to go to a company, car place, sign a lease. You're going to have to put $3,000, $4,000 down as a deposit. Then you're going to pay $200, $300, $400 a month, depending on what vehicle it is. And then at the end of the 3-year period, there's going to be a reserve that you're going to have to pay off or transfer the car in for, trade in for another lease car. So it works similar to leases in South Africa. But there's the problem. You may not be able to, because when you get here on a refugee status or brand new, doesn't matter which status you get here, you're not going to be credit worthy. So there's the possibility you're going to have to get credit worthy first before you can be able to lease or lease or buy a car on down payments. When I did myself, when we got here, the first car I didn't have to buy cash. But you get a credit card, one. Don't get more than one credit card. And you put, because you're not credit worthy, you're going to have to put money into it. So I put down $2,000. I have a credit card. There's $2,000 of my own money in there. That means now I can use $2,000 credit and just pay it back. So they want to see if you can operate a credit card. I did that for 6 months to a year, and then they say, okay, I'm able to pay it back, and then they release that $2,000 back to me, and then increase my credit limit and so on. Here's the important thing: if you have, and the more bank accounts and credit cards you open, that actually has an impact on your credit score. It can bring it down. So only have one, maximum two. And then if you have a credit card and you use your credit card, never go, if your credit limit is $5,000, never go over $2,500. So don't go over half of that, and then immediately pay back all you can. And don't just pay the minimum amount every month. If you pay like I did, pay it back. When I go to Walmart, buy groceries or whatever, I use my credit card to buy it. When I get home, I transfer the money straight into it from my checking account, the money I just used, that amount. So I always keep my credit card paid up permanently. Within 18 months, I got up to over 750 points on my credit score, which is maximum of 850. And I've been hovering on 835 and higher for the last 10 years. So I've never been lower than that. That's how fast you can build credit. So also the same person asked, how about places like Costco and so on. There is a couple of those places, Costco and some others, that you have to be a member. You only have to pay a membership. So some of them is $50, some is $40 a year membership, and that means now you can go buy there in bulk. So it's just simple. It takes, I'm sure there's was cash and carry, or I can't even remember. There were like membership clubs in South Africa as well. You pay a monthly or an annual membership and you can go buy there. What website do we have to use for the green card lottery? So hopefully I remember. When I do this video, I will put that link in the description below so that you make sure you go to the correct one. Someone said, hey, they applied for that green card lottery since 2011 and never got it. So, hey, it's a lottery. Hopefully that person who never got it every year since 2011 means hopefully went to the correct website and not pay someone to do it, or just click on the first link they see, because there's a lot of fake websites and fake links on the internet for that specific green card lottery. If you use the wrong one, there's no ways they're going to get your stuff. If you pay someone, then definitely they will not get your stuff. So I'll find the correct one, and if I remember, I'll add it in here. If I forgot to add it in the description, just remind me on a question and I'll dump it in there. Before I continue, remember I said from now on it will be only in English, all this feedback I'm going to give. And it's also good because if you want to come here, you need to be prepared to be English. Don't do like other nations, other cultures. They come here and try to force their own language on the United States. You come here, first language is English. And that's what they want to communicate with. So prepare and brush up on that. And that's why we're going to do this English from now on. Oh, let me just turn this thing down. Then I see the next one is, the next question is, we see a lot of videos on social media of many homeless people because they can't afford homes. Is that very common? Why is it so? So remember social media. People will redo the same videos and just from different angles to try and make things look worse than it is. There is homelessness like in any other country in the world. Do they need to be homeless? Not a single person in this country need to be homeless. That's on themselves. They bring this on themselves. There's so much work available, which open positions which no one is taking, that we don't even have to have, our unemployment's 4% or just under 4%. We don't even really have to have an unemployment because there's way more jobs available in this country than unemployed people. So if you are homeless, if you see those people are homeless, 99% of the time, it's because of themselves. They brought that on themselves. Bad decisions, drug use, and those type of things. Don't live above their means. There's no person in this country that need to be homeless. That's a fact. We see a lot of videos of on social media again, of police being brutal. They pull people over and attack them and being brutal. Here's the problem with those videos. Some of them AI generated, but not all, but there is some floating on social media. Most of the time, they cut out everything else. They just put the piece where the policeman actually starting assaulting the guy. But they take away all the previous, they cut out the previous actions where the guy was actually threatening or attacking the policeman. So they don't just go around and attack people for no reason. They have the right to defend themselves. So here's my advice to you. If you're in this country and you drive around, and that's what I told my daughter, there's a dash cam on the screen, in the windscreen. When a policeman pull you over, you will be polite. Don't start trying to be arrogant with the policeman. If they ask you, show me your license, turn down the window and show them the license. Just follow their instructions. When you start being arrogant, they're going to think there's something wrong there, and then they're going to investigate further. You may be hiding because there's too many people around this country who's driving around having drugs in their cars and weapons in their cars, illegal stuff, and then they want to be arrogant, and then when the policemen pull them over or something, they try to attack policemen. They have to defend themselves. So if you do the right thing at the right time, remember, and I told my daughter, you just respond everything they say. That dash cam is recording anyway. So if it has to go to court, we have something to protect ourselves, and their own police dash cam, their police car dash cam, and their camera on their shirts and body cam has to be used. So you are covered with cameras. Just do what they say, and there will be no fight. There will be no reason for them to be assaulting you as the driver. One person asked, what's the best cell phone company? Now that's for yourself too. When you get here, do some research. Some companies, check all the fees. You have to do research like anything else, but look at that, check all the fees. There's a lot of fees that people add to different ones. So do some diligence and research before you go into and get yourself a cell phone. What about water and electricity bills, and how does that work? Depends on where you live and which state you live, which home owners association you live, or where your housing is. It may be a combined, it may be separate accounts, it may be, it's just like same in South Africa. You have a water bill, you have an electric bill, and you may have a gas bill, and you may have internet bill, regular bills. So same thing. Check what is on offer if you go into certain subdivisions. If you rent a place, some renters will, places that rent out houses or apartments may have your electric included in the bill or separate, some water included or separate. Just check it out. But similar to South Africa, there's no real big difference. Someone else say there's a problem. This may be a problem. They were in the United States about 15 years ago, and they overstayed their visa because she was married to someone and she couldn't come back without him, and that caused her to overstay her visa. And now she's divorced from that guy. Will that be a problem if I apply for refugee status? It may not be a problem, but please do not try and hide it. If they have questions about that, tell them. They know about it. I can guarantee you that part, because you had to go through an airline to get back out of America, and obviously it will show that you were longer than the visa was valid for. So don't cover it up, and explain to them what happened, why it happened, and I'm sure they will look into that part as well. Then, can I own a gun under the refugee status program? Most of the time you cannot own a gun if you're just a refugee, but once you get through the program and they start getting your application for your green card and everything is in place, once you have a green card, you can own a gun. Depends on states, and it depends on the different states you live in. Everyone has his own rules, but there is some requirements, minimum requirements for owning a gun. Most of the time, you'll not be able to own a gun if you're just interim or a short-term refugee member. What about prices of food and other stuff? So one thing you're going to have to get used to when you get here is the numbers. The numbers is the same as we saw in South Africa in the 80s. For example, a bread is R2.20 in South Africa in the 80s. Now it's $2.20 over here or something. It's not like 15 Rand or 20 Rand or 50 Rand for a can of veggies or something. And then the prices of food products, same thing when you get here. Look around, different shops, different prices. But you can make a very good living out of middle and low income salaries. I get there as a refugee. Later I fall sick. Now I can't work anymore because of the sickness. So are they going to send me back? What's going to happen? So if you get here as a refugee and they put you in a program and they get you through the process and you become a green card holder and something happens, suddenly you can't work anymore, you fell sick or something, the same benefits and same help a normal US citizen will get, you will get the same help. So they will look after you on the same, you will qualify for the same other benefits that most regular people get here anyway. How do we transfer money if we close our accounts in South Africa before we get there? So that's you can't transfer money here before you get here because you need a bank account and stuff. So if you want to close down accounts before you move here, maybe get that money and put it in travel checks or something. You can bring cash over with you. I won't recommend that at all, but you limit it to, I think, $10,000 per person when you fly over here and so on. So just check on that. The best will maybe traveler's checks or something, or have someone leave your account open until you get here. Then while you're here, get your bank to do a wire transfer your money over here, and they get someone in South Africa, a friend or a relative who's still there, who can go and close the account on your behalf. Just make sure you have they have access to that and sign stuff before you leave. Some persons say that, hey, the tornadoes and flooding over there scares them. Hey, nature happens everywhere in the world. We get them. There's places that you get a lot of tornadoes. There's places that get some flooding. It's just where you live. You can do some research and see. And it's not necessarily same places will always get the same tornadoes at the same places. There's hit and miss, and where you live. So I've been living here for 17 years. I never had involved in any natural disaster. Okay, the last question for today. I work in a different country. Can I keep my job when I'm accepted? So first of all, if you work in a different country, you can't do refugee application because you have to be in South Africa to apply and get that process started. Say, for example, you get the whole process done and they want to move you and you work in it. No, you can't keep your job unless that job is international and that company transfers you. So no, you won't be able to get the same job when you move over, unless you get here and they put you through and you're in a program and they search for jobs that's similar or the same. But obviously if that company where you're actually working right now is not an international company, doesn't have a branch over here, and they don't transfer you, no, you won't get the same job. You won't keep the exact same job. And also, like I said, if you live in a different country, you cannot apply for refugee status. You have to be in South Africa. That's it for today. We'll give you a couple of days to add some more questions, and then I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thank you.